What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and in this video we are talking about tools. I want to show you what tools I think you need to get started working on your car. Basically, my point is, do you need fancy power tools? Do you need a massive toolbox? Or do you need any specialty tools? I will answer all those questions in this video, so let's get started. Since they're right here in front of the toolbox taking up space where I need to open the drawers, let's start with these. Do you need fancy power tools? Nope, not at all. You can get basic, affordable power tools. Just make sure you pick the right ones because there are some that are not worth the money. I'm not going to give you any names or brands. Just do your research and pick something that is good. Personally, I found that this Bauer brand from Harbor Freight is not the best that you can get power-wise, but it is super affordable. So if you're looking for the most budget-friendly, decent power tool, I guess you can't go wrong with it. But that's probably not why you're here. Let's talk about toolbox. Do you need a giant rolling toolbox? I have basically all of my tools packed in this small toolbox because I wanted to show you how few tools you actually need. You don't need all those wrenches, sockets, extensions. Depends on what you want to do. I mean, as you can see, it fits in a small 4-drawer portable toolbox. And with these tools, I can do almost everything. I don't have any specialty tools in here. We're going to move on to specialty tools in a little bit, and I want to thank Orion Motor Tech for sponsoring this video and sending me this master ball joint kit, or ball joint press kit I should say, and the link to this will be in the description. More on this coming later in the video. For now, let's go back to hand tools. Wrenches. Everybody needs wrenches. Do you need ratcheting wrenches? Well, yeah, they're useful, but you can go for a basic set of manual wrenches, and honestly, I use these more than these because I use these to hold bolts and nuts as I'm spinning the other side with a socket. So if you're gonna invest in wrenches for the first time, get a set that is not ratcheting. Get a good quality set, because bad quality sets don't actually hold the nuts and the bolts like a good quality set does. They're not formed properly, and they could even stretch, especially if you heat stuff up with a torch. Then after you have all your basic needs, invest in a ratcheting set, and I will link all of these in the description so you can find them easily. My next drawer is packed with sockets, and when I say packed, well, yeah, I fit a big toolbox drawer worth of sockets in a little one, and I have them packed to the millimeter. Basically, they are stuffed in here. Do you need swivel sockets? No. Do you need a bunch of different types of sockets? No. What I recommend is start out with a basic 1/2 inch and 3/8 chrome set. I suggest starting with a deep set, because with deep you can actually use it more often than a shallow. You can't put shallow over studs usually. You need a deep set. And I don't recommend getting a 12 point. This one came with the kit, so I had no choice. I do recommend getting a 6 point because these grip onto fasteners a lot better than a 12 point. Unfortunately, my shallow set is a 12 point, but there's nothing I can do about that. I'll upgrade in the future. As you can see, I have a bunch of Torque sockets here, which if you're not working on interior or European cars, you probably won't need these much. Well, some newer Fords have them, but other than that, you're good to go without them. If you have impact tools, air impacts, electric impacts, you should get an impact rated set of sockets, both shallow and deep. And like I said, those are optional, those are impact rated, but you can also get, well, don't get those swivel adapters. I have this one for emergencies. Get the ball and socket joint type, the universal joint, flies all over the place. If you ever used them, you know what I'm talking about. And then of course I have my deep 1/2 inch set of sockets, which goes all the way up to the 30 millimeter range. When it comes to ratchets, pick whatever feels good for you. If you want something extendable or solid, I have a swivel head ratchet. I have some regular extensions, chrome and impact rated extensions. I have some wobble head extensions, especially for the 1/4 inch size. Those are useful to get into super tight places. But just a regular basic set of chrome extensions will get you started just fine. Once again, link to all those in the description. Okay, I promise you it fits. See? Pliers, locking pliers, and needle nose. If you have these, you should be all set pretty much for a lot of things. But of course, get a set of curved head pliers. A good set of locking pliers makes a huge difference. I've had some cheaper sets of locking pliers, this one included, which have severely bent under minimal pressure. So try to avoid them. I have these Milwaukee ones, which I have really beat up, and they are still holding up. They were expensive, but hey, Milwaukee quality, I guess. And then these Craftsman, which are a lifetime warranty. I think so are these, but get something with a warranty if you can, because you will destroy them eventually. And for long needle nose pliers, I recommend these. I'll put a link in the description. I have some slightly angled ones, and then some 90-degree angled ones, which are down there. And those are my go-to pliers for anything that is hard to reach and does not require a lot of clamping force. And moving to specialty tools, if you're gonna get anything, get a ball joint press. Don't get any other specialty tools unless you have a car that requires it, because this you're going to use for a lot of things. You're going to use it for ball joints, you're going to use it for bushings, you're going to use it for pressing other things in and out. I don't think you're going to be able to use it for a wheel bearing, but hey, you never know. So let's talk about this some more. We'll test it out. But thank you again, Orion Motor Tech, for sponsoring this video and sending me out this master ball joint kit. Once again, link in the description. You'll notice this is the master kit. This is what Orion Motor Tech sells as the whole ball joint press kit. Basically, it comes with all of these cups, all these adapters, and obviously the press itself, which is this giant threaded rod and the C-clamp looking piece. Over the years, I've had to borrow a kit like this so many times, whether it was from work or from the auto parts store. And honestly, without this, it's very difficult to do ball joints. You can even do bushings with this, so it's very universally applied. So to show you the capabilities of this, I want to put it to the test, press out these old ball joints here, as well as this bushing. Will it work? Well, I know the press can do it because I've used this thing before, not this particular one, but I have a set just like this one at work. But I'm also going to put this to the test, which is a new to me 1/2 inch high torque impact. We'll see how good it actually is. One more thing I quickly want to mention is anytime you use anything like this with pressure on threads, always grease up or oil up your threads. I put some grease on here, so we're ready to go. I already have the cups set up here for this ball joint. Let's see how I can press it out. That's it. That's all it takes. Ball joint is out with minimal effort. And if you wanted to press the new one in, well, it's as simple as that. I know this is not the new one, but it's pressed in. You know, for the most part, that's because my cup hit it. And with a master kit like this, you have endless possibilities for different cup sizes. So let's say you want this one to press out this bushing, and it's a little bit too small, and it's too big to fit over the bushing. So in that case, you go over here, you grab this one, which is the next size up, a little bit bigger than that one, fits perfectly. And then you would put one of these cups on top, and boom, you got yourself a setup. Well, now how do you press the bushing out? Can you use this one? Maybe, but it's a little bit too big. Well, in that case, you can grab, let's say this one right here. Perfect fit. It'll go through the hole. You can press the bushing out. So like I said, this, if you're gonna get a specialty tool, is basically one of the first things I would get, and I regret not having one until now. But like I said, I've had to borrow a kit like this so many times until now for ball joints, for bushings, for basically anything that gets pressed in and out. Now when it comes to bushings like these are a little bit more complicated, and you're not going to replace control arm bushings on a stamped steel control arm. You're probably just going to replace the whole control arm, let's be honest. But if you own a truck, well, you're going to have some bushings to replace, that's for sure. Having said that, let's see how I can press this out. And the reason I haven't pressed this one out yet, and I won't, is because I don't have my snap ring pliers with me, and this is locked in here. Yay! But since it pressed that rusty old ball joint out of the steel control arm out, it can definitely press the aluminum one out. But this is also mostly about the ball joint press, not about the power tool. The ball joint press I have put under enormous pressure at work with big, powerful 1,000 foot-pound air impact guns, and it has held up phenomenally. It has not skipped a beat. The threads are perfect. It has so much force to it, and you have so many options with these adapters. It's honestly probably the best kit that you can get if you're going to get one. So I highly recommend it. Now, let's see how it'll press out this bushing. I have the ball joint press set up for the bushing, so let's press it out. Well, this one's a little too rusty, and I don't have fire. Oh, it moved. Well, it did move a little bit, so at this point it just comes down to how weak my gun is, but hey, it moved. So at this point, this has nothing to do with the ball joint press. The ball joint press withstood all of that force perfectly. If this was mounted on the car, I could have even used a long breaker bar or ratchet, turned that ball joint press rod by hand. I've done that before too. Since this was just a demonstration, I had the control arm off of the vehicle. Usually you can pop off one bushing out of a control arm, tilt it down, put your press in, and off you go. This ball joint press, like I said, you have so many combinations for bushings and ball joints. It's everything you could imagine. And these cups right here, by the way, the fact that it comes with them is great, because not only can you cap off an open cylinder like this, but when it comes to ball joint studs, this goes over like that, and you can press out, well, not this one, in this case it would be this one, but you can press ball joints out without cutting the stud. So having said that, I highly recommend this kit, and I will definitely be putting it to way more use now that I have it. Thank you very much again, Orion Motor Tech. I will be linking this in the description once again, like I said earlier, so you can pick up yours. It is honestly a really good price for what you get here. This is quality, heavy duty stuff. These cups are very thick material, very tough built, and they don't rust. They're not gonna get damaged, especially if you use them. Once you use them, you'll most likely have grease all over them. Don't clean them off with brake clean, just leave the grease on, wipe it with a rag. This is rust from the ball joint, as you can see, cleans off easy peasy, and the paint on them is high quality. It's not gonna just chip off. I've seen other tools and ball joint presses, I'm not gonna name any names, but they do have really poor paint, basically. So I'll just leave it at that. This is high quality stuff, highly recommend it. Link in the description, like I said. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope it was helpful, and I hope the links provided were useful if you're looking to start your first tool collection and work on your own car or truck. When it comes to socket sizes, by the way, if you have a truck, get 1/2 inch stuff first and 3/8. 1/4 inch will come later, because you're not going to take truck suspension apart with a 1/4 inch socket, nor 3/8. You need big stuff, and of course breaker bars, hammers. If you have a little car like my little Corolla, well, maybe look at 3/8 and some 1/2 inch. Leave me any comments if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next one.